the majors in runs scored, and this guy is one of the big reasons why, James Wood.
Yeah, and you got to be careful with the first pitch of the game. This guy likes to hit leadoff homers. Look at all those lefties lined up in the top. What is that?
Stack. There's
6 spots in the lineup. Left-handed hitters, 2 switch hitters at the bottom. Dylan Cruz, the lone righty in the lineup for Blake Butera.
And there is Blake Butera, who's got this team playing a whole lot better. Let's get a look around the diamond out. The D-back defense, that's presented by CarShield.
We're going to highlight Corbin Carroll since the Nationals are starting a lefty tonight. He's hit .421 this season against left-handed pitching and had a big night last night. 3 hits, including a home run.
Well, this is an interesting matchup, Bob. You've got 2 teams with a couple of stars, some young players. They have same identities. You've got Gino Groover out there playing first base. Time now for the G keys to the game.
Well, ride the wave. If you don't get any momentum from that game last night, maybe you'll get it from Merrill, the mainstay out there on the mound. And apologies to the Who, but the kids are all right. The Nationals' oldest regular in their lineup is 27 years old, and the Diamondbacks, depending on who they start, only have 2 or 3 players over 30.
Ron Culp with the crew chief, our plate umpire, back there calling balls and strikes. And here is James Wood as we get the weekend underway against the Nationals. 264, 16 home runs. Their leadoff hitter, and he's doing a brilliant job of it. He's had quite a transformation, James Wood. He's still only 23 years old. Last season, he led the majors in strikeouts. This season, he leads the National League in walks.
Yeah, 51 walks. He has punched out 87 times, and you want to keep him off base. He's also stolen 10 bags in 11 attempts.
And no player in the majors has scored more runs than James Wood. A big, lanky kid at 6'6". He hits the ball really, really, really hard. 96.1 average exit velocity off the bat. No player hits the ball with more authority. Change up right there. Did he offer? He did not, says Tom Hanahan. It's 2-2.
Pitch is called the ball to catch his challenger.
Oh, we got a challenge right away from Aramis Garcia, who's behind the plate.
Yeah, it looked like a good pitch. It was a good pitch.
Okay.
Pitch is strike.
So Aramis Garcia flips the count from 3-1 to 2-2. And the Diamondbacks maintain both their ABS challenges. Wood coming off a big year last year, an all-star, 31 homers. He knocked in 94 runs. Luis Garcia Jr. on deck. And then it's Jose Tena, the DH. Well, we talked about this. Leading the, 3rd in the National League in on-base percentage, leading the league in walks, and it's a leadoff walk for Wood.
And as I mentioned just a moment ago, now you got to keep an eye on him over there as well.
10 stolen bases, only been caught once. Here's Luis Garcia Jr., an interesting player. He's only 26 years old, yet it seems like he's played for the Nationals for 15 years. His 7th season in the majors, all with the Washington. Curveball lands for a strike. The longest tenured Nationals player, and he's just 26. Tells you about the infusion of youth you talked about a moment ago. Garcia chops it high in the air, pretty deep to right field. Corbin Carroll in pursuit, and that one's in the bullpen. Luis Garcia Jr. Troy Lovello said this afternoon Garcia is a Diamondback killer, and he pointed it out. There it is, 2-zip, 2 batters in.
Based on the swing and the arc of that ball when it left the infield, I didn't think that had a chance to get out of here, but Corbin ran all the way over to that Nationals bullpen trying to make a play, but over everything out there.
His 6th of the year. Why refi gives us a slow-mo look.
I think for Garcia the only question was fair or foul, but clearly fair down that line into the bullpen.
So right away a 2-0 Nationals lead. The DH bats 3rd. This is Jose Tena, who has for the most part been a DH who does not hit. He's 3rd in their lineup. 216, 3 homers. He has been stuck over his last 20 games now in a 6-for-52 slump. That's a 115 batting average if you're doing the math at home. But here he is, a little comebacker. Merrill, kick save at a beauty. A kick save.
Nice.
Out of beauty.
Boy, fortunately, it stayed right there. So many times you see a pitcher try to knock a ball down with his glove or kick it with his foot, and you end up kicking it away from your defender, but Merrill just knocked it right down on the mound and throws on to first for the out.
Well, here's something that's becoming a disturbing trend here. The Diamondbacks falling behind early in these games. C.J. Abrams bats cleanup. 10 consecutive games, the other team has scored the game's first run. Abrams, 288, 12 homers. That 903 OPS is 7th best in the league. Big swing and a miss. A good changeup there, and it's 0-2. Abrams begins today tied for 2nd in the league in RBIs, right behind the Dodgers' Andy Pages, who we just saw. Rolls over to first, and that's foul for James Groover. Abrams been batting cleanup out since the middle of April. He leads all National League shortstops in RBIs and OPS, having a terrific year. Back to the changeup. Abrams again can't lay off. Garcia hangs onto the tip, and there's 2 outs in the first.
I think the more Merrill can mess with these Nationals hitters, the more success he's going to have. I mentioned they're all young guys. They all want to swing the bat, make the things happen, and they've been doing that. So maybe you take advantage of that over aggressiveness, mix in a few more off-speed pitches.
If anybody can do that, it's Merrill Kelly with all his stuff. Throws 6 pitches, all for strikes. Dalen Lyle is the left fielder. Good-looking young player, 250 and 7 homers. Just 23 years old. A 2nd-round pick by the Nationals out of Trinity High School in Louisville, where he was Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Kentucky. Got his first look at the big leagues last year. Hit .299, just over 90 games. Punches that deep to left. Waldschmidt near the bullpen, and Waldy's got it. Luis Garcia Jr. gets it started for Washington. 2 in the first. Look who's going to lead it off. The guy who hit last night. It's Ketel Marte coming up next.
Prefer to chat online? Visit ashline.org.
Ketel Marte, last night's walk-off hero. Set to get a first look at the National starter tonight. It's the left-hander Foster Griffin, back in the major leagues for the first time since 2022 after 3 years in Japan, and he's pitched well in a dozen starts after signing with the Nationals.
Putting up solid numbers, nearly a strikeout per inning. This is another guy that throws 7 different pitches.
Marte from the right side. We know how that usually ends up, at least lately.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are 10-4 against left-handed starters. They've hit .289 against left-handed starters. That's the best in the major leagues.
Walk-off home run for Ketel, his 11th home run this year. His 2nd homer in that series, his 2nd career walk-off home run, both coming this year. You recall he walked off the Giants with a home run just 16 days prior. And he said last night after the game, since it was against the Dodgers, it was big for him. I think it was big for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Came after he was not in the lineup in the game on Wednesday.
And it was a no doubt, a right down the left field line. Boom.
Uh-oh. Dangerously close to Chris Garagiola in the radio booth. Here's the big moment last night.
He's had some practice on that bat toss.
It's getting longer. That was a lot of fun. That one really got Ron Culpa back there. Crew chief is the plate umpire. He's going to need a moment here. No, he's good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about the Marte walk-off homer, of course, is it overshadows just a little bit that enormously clutch 2-out RBI hit by Geraldo Perdomo that tied it up.
Absolutely.
One leads to the other, and Jerry's base hit was just as important.
And Torrey even points back a little farther to the home run by Corbin Carroll that kind of jump-started the D-backs offense.
Yeah, that was in that 8th inning where they got 2 in the 8th and walked it off in the 9th. Marte strikes out as we get a look around the diamond here at Washington defensively tonight.
I'm going to highlight their second baseman. This guy is tied for the major league lead with Jose Ramirez with 22 stolen bases, but you've got to make him hit his way on base. He's only hitting 191. His on-base percentage this year is .284. I'm sure Blake Butera would like to find a way to get Nunez on base a little more often.
Nasim Nunez, he's a small ball burner. Ryan Walshman is batting second here tonight. He keeps migrating north in this lineup. Waldy .291, 26 games this year. Had a couple of two-hit games in that Dodgers series. Drives this pretty deep the other way. Wood trying to chase it down near the line. He's got those long strides at 6'6", and James Wood runs it down in the corner.
Wow.
Big smile on his face, and why not?
I didn't think he could catch up to that ball, but as you said, with those long strides, he makes up a lot of ground in a hurry. That ball figures to be slicing a little bit off the right-handed hitter's bat, but Wood never gives up on it, chases it down over there in the corner. Big man goes and gets it.
He does. 2 down for Corbin Carroll. Corbin bats third. Different look to the lineup slightly with Gabriel Moreno getting the night off to start. Corbin .292 and 9 homers. He's fourth in the National League with that OPS. And has continued to mash left-hand pitching. Case in point. Oh. What a play by Nasim Nunez. Wow. That thing was a rocket. Is he okay? 102 miles an hour off the bat. That was headed for a double to right center, and Nunez took it away. 2 sparkling defensive plays by these Nationals defenders. First Wood in right, and now Nunez at second. Wow. What a catch there by Nasim Nunez, who had it kind of squirt out of the glove there for a moment. He had to show the ball to the second base umpire, Manny Gonzalez. See, it's right there. It's under my elbow.
He needs a glove on both hands.
Is this your quarter behind your ear? I got it right here. Jorbit Bibas. There's the diving grab by Ryan Waldschmidt. Boy, we're catching baseballs all over the yard here. Waldy had to come in and do a swan dive to get to that one.
I was watching one of the highlight shows last night, and they were showing a lot of the great defensive plays that are made around baseball on any given day. We've already had a highlight film here tonight in an inning and a half.
Why Refi gives us a slow-mo look, and Ryan Waldschmidt in left off the bat of Jorbit Bibas. A quick one pitch out from Merrill. And now here's Dylan Cruz, the center fielder. Cruz .208, a home run. Just 13 games this year. He was an elite prospect coming out of LSU, but has really yet to find his footing in the major leagues with the Nationals. In fact, didn't even make their opening day roster this spring. But he was recalled from Rochester middle of last month. Blake Butera, their young manager, has done a terrific job with this group, forging a new identity. Young, quick, athletic. They can hit. Pitching is coming along at some point, they hope.
You know, offensively, they're a little bit like Diamondbacks in years past. They like to create some chaos, either with the long ball or their speed on the bases. Stealing bases, scoring from first on an extra base hit. They put pressure on a defense.
Got the 3-1 fastball by, and they're waiting for Cruz to kind of figure it out. Nationals took him with the #2 pick in the 2023 draft out of LSU. He was in the big leagues for a handful of games the very next year, but he's had some injuries. He's been slow to develop, and they're hoping he'll get it going. Folks, the 3-2 out to right. Corbin's there, backing up near the warning track. Hey, it's not too late to play along at our D-Backs Give Back 50/50 raffle, supported by Abnet Care. Jackpot already over $9,000. And one lucky winner will take home half the net proceeds. The other half benefits the Diamondbacks Foundation's youth sports and outreach programs. And you can purchase your ticket from home from anywhere in the state of Arizona online at dbacks.com/50/50. Drew Millis, the catcher. Millis, a switch hitter, 181, couple of home runs. He's got 17 hits this year. All 17 have come from the left side of the plate, including both his home runs. Right away, it's 0-2. He's got the same batting stance as Rafael Devers of the Giants. Maybe not the same numbers, but they kind of mirror each other with that odd open stance and that front foot. There's a little Gonzo in there as well somewhere. Don't chase that changeup.
Yeah, not quite as exaggerated as Devers. His right foot is almost all the way on that back line. Nationals have been getting some big-time offense from their catching combination. Millis and Ruiz since May 6th. They lead all major league catching groups in slugging percentage, on base percentage, batting average, 5th in homers, 3rd in RBIs, and 7th in hits.
Yeah, Millis is the backup. Ruiz is red hot right now. He's getting the night off to start, much like Gabriel Moreno. A slider hit Millis in the foot. So a 2-out freebie ahead of Nasim Nunez.
Very definition of a back foot slider. He never moved a little bit. Put him on the inside of that left foot.
Here's Nasim Nunez, the switch hitter. His 3rd season with the Nationals, former Rule 5 pick who they've hung with, and now it's starting to pay off, only 25 years old. Close at first. I thought they had him there for a minute. Merrill Kelly's got those quick feet. Nunez might bunt his way on. He is the very prototypical small ball burner type. Begins the day tied with Jose Ramirez of the Guardians for the Major League Stolen Base lead. So you want to keep him off the bags. 22 steals. He's only been caught 3 times.
Make him swing the bat. No freebies to this guy.
Got him from the Marlins organization in the Rule 5 draft 3 years ago. Spent most of that first season, because you have to stay on the roster all year long, just pinch running. Kind of a modern day Herb Washington. 2 disengagements for Merrill. Arenado in a step or 2 at 3rd on the grass. Merrill not quite sharp as we're used to seeing so far this early. A leadoff walk and a home run in the first made it 2-0 Nationals. Now a hit batter with 2 outs in the second. And he gets the fastball by Nunez. Nunez is not without credentials. He was a 2nd-round pick by the Marlins in 2019 out of high school in Georgia. Yeah, Merrill's control just not quite refined right now. He's spraying it around a bit.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Merrill, when he does miss his spot, it's just a matter of an inch one way or the other, but he has badly misfired a few times already.
And there goes Millis. Nunez to center. Jorge Barrosa's there. They work around the 2-out base runner. Bottom 2 from Chase. Diamondbacks trail at 2-0.
Should become more coordinated. Call today.
Todd Walsh back here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks down a pair here in the bottom of the second, guys. So many unforgettable images in the wake of the Ketel Marte walk-off homer last night, but one of them made the rounds. Real quick, I want to show you this one. Ketel Marte looking into the dugout. You see the players following the ball, the fans following the ball, but Torey Lovullo is looking at his superstar, Ketel Marte, eye to eye, and Torey told me earlier today, guys, as we come back to live action, that that photo was sent to him by Ketel Marte last night after the game, and they exchanged pleasantries and talked a little bit about each other. And I just know this, that meant the world to Torey Lovullo, because he is really made an effort to foster a continuing relationship and a blossoming relationship with Ketel Marte. And I think back to what we all witnessed last year in Chicago and some of the things that went down in Torrey's defense of his star player. But that picture right there, that's worth more than 1,000 words, I'll tell you that.
So was that moment, Todd. It was something special to be here last night. Arenado pokes that. There's your one. Nolan Arenado pulled foul ball. And probably a few more on the way after that.
Yeah, at least one in at bat.
Torrey has gone down to visit Ketel in his home in the offseason, the Dominican Republic, and I mean, they've really developed a paternal relationship in a sense over the years. Just a little squirt, ball off first, and Griffin gets over there to cover. Well, here comes the big moment for Lou James Groover, who's making his major league debut. Starting at first base tonight, the latest Diamondback prospect to break into the big leagues this year, having a very encouraging season at AAA Reno, where he's hitting .322 for the Aces, and this is his first major league at bat. A second-round pick in the '23 draft out of North Carolina State, Lou James Groover, and here he is.
Took his share of walks down there in Reno too. Showed a good eye for the strike zone.
.421 on base percentage, playing both third base and first base for the Aces. Grounded to second. Nunez scampers over there. 2 quick outs for Griffin, who's set down all 5 he's faced. Got some solid defense behind him. Brings up Geraldo Perdomo, who had one of the big hits that might have gone overlooked last night. That super clutch RBI single that tied the game with 2 outs of the 8th inning. His first game since dropping to 7th in the batting order. He's batting 6th in a slightly altered lineup tonight. Torrey was saying that he felt the frustration last night in that game building when it seemed like they were just 1 hit away there. Couldn't get over the edge of it, and then came Perdomo with that clutch 2-out hit. Just fantastic. Joe Mather, the hitting coach, on the right there.
Good idea. Vivas was playing way back at third base for Perdomo. Any way to get on base with 2 outs in the inning, set it up for Tommy Troy.
Tommy in the DH role tonight. Griffin filling up the zone. He had some injuries and struggles several years earlier in the majors. He was with the Royals and the Blue Jays for a bit, but now is back here after 3 seasons in Japan, where he was an all-star for the Yomiuri Giants. Cruz in right center. We've got some special guest stars coming up as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the 2001 champs.
Welcome to Jock in the Box.
Welcome back to Chase Field on this Serpentientes Friday. They trail the Nationals 2-0 top 3. It was 25 years ago that these 3 gentlemen won a World Series championship for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And BB, this is you. I want you to do the introductions here.
This is our center fielder. That's our shortstop.
All right.
Everybody knows Tony Womack and Steve Finley, 2 of the greatest defenders on that 0-1 team, and the motor, speed.
Yep.
Yeah, we like that.
We did it.
There's James Wood. What do these 2 guys mean to you other than the athleticism?
Just showing up every day, expecting to play, ready to play, and I didn't always let them play, but they were right back in there the next day making things happen. I mean, these guys were just 2 true pros, and we had a whole clubhouse full of true pros, but these 2 guys are right at the top of the list.
Tony, what was it like to be part of a mix like that?
It was easy. Just come in and do your job, do what you're supposed to do, be who you are, and just let the cards fall as they may.
Yeah, you know, I was asked about, you know, BB being his first year managing and stuff, and I said, you know, he learned me really quick because I was coming off back surgery and I was really struggling early in the season, and I would find myself not in the lineup, and I wore a path from my blocker all the way to his, always off. BB, why am I not playing today? Why am I not playing today? I think he finally got tired of me by June. Just let him play every day.
Well, we warned you about James Wood and the tremendous power. A leadoff walk his first time up, and that's his 17th of the year, and the second home run given up tonight by Merrill Kelly. 419 feet.
Padres are going to really regret trading him.
Yeah, it was part of the Juan Soto deal, and Steve, you never seem to get equal value when you trade a player of Soto's caliber, but the Nationals seem to have come pretty close.
Yeah, well, I was working in the minor leagues whenever he was there, and when I saw him in the trade, I was like, oh my God, you cannot trade this guy. I mean, he was just going to be a stud. You saw it back then.
Oh yeah.
He's only 23 years old. That's the other scary part too. Yeah. With James Groover, the rookie at first, Merrill hustles over to cover, and they get the first out. Steve, is there one moment for you, other obviously than the winning Game 7, that stands out for you from the 0-1 season?
Well, I mean, I think the first series was such a stress-packed series, and you see pivotal moments. You got Craig Counsell hitting a home run. He'd never hit a home run off a left-hander in his career, and hits a home run off a left-hander in St. Louis that ended up being able to push us to a Game 5, and then Womack's hit there in the 9th inning with 2 outs. I mean, that to me was the team that won that was going to go to the World Series.
Correct.
Jose Tena, the DH. BB, what about you? What was your big one?
Well, there were a lot of them. I mean, it's hard not to have a lot of good moments when you have so many great players on the field on a daily basis. You know something good's going to happen. I mean, obviously the two big boys at the top of the rotation, you felt like they might throw a no-hitter every time they went out there. So we just tried to figure out a way to scratch and scrape and score a run or two, and we knew that was going to be enough to make it stand up.
Well, there's Gonzo, of course, who was a big part of that one.
How about the start Gonzo got off to that season? Oh, my goodness.
How about this one, Tony?
Oh. Slider, Steve Klein, slider.
Yeah, I heard you on the pregame show. A lot of people don't realize I put a squeeze bunt on with the bases loaded because I thought with Klein's slider that was going to be a tough pitch for you to put in play and maybe a swing and a miss. So I said, let's catch him by surprise.
Well, we did.
Yeah, we did.
It did. It
couple
worked
pitches
out
later.
But again, it was nothing to the fact that, listen, do what you got to do. If he didn't throw that slider in the other batter's box, I probably would have bunted it.
Well, Barroso able to knock that down off the bat of Tennant, and the Nationals getting to Merrill Kelly here. It's 3-0 as they march on in this third.
And Finn's Diamondbacks fans are well aware of the fact that you never dove head first for a ball in the outfield.
Well,
you always kind of led with your legs.
Led with my legs. I had a bad experience when I was playing on turf with the Orioles, and I dove forward, and my wrist and my shoulder rolled around, and it put me out for 6 weeks. Ooh. And after that, they said, just try sliding. So I started sliding, and I liked that way better.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had you for the whole year.
Less wear and tear.
It is a lot less wear and tear.
And you had to cover so much ground in left center because Gonzo couldn't get anything out there.
Well, yeah, but you got to thank me for that, though.
When I had Tony and Wright, I could Tony. Now that you're good out here, I'm going to start sliding over towards left.
Once I started working with Finns and Dwayne Murphy, man, Finns was like, "Hey, we're going to shade this way. You got this control." So it was a little easy to make Gonzo look good in left field.
Here's C.J. Abrams, the cleanup hitter. Well, Steve, I've seen the defensive highlights. I mean, bad back or not, you were making some plays out there in the outfield.
Well, I mean, that was my job. Cal Ripken Jr. told me early in my career, he was my mentor my first 2 years. He said, I don't care what your offense looks like, make sure your defense is golden out there, because if you don't, your butt's going to be getting splinters on the bench.
Here's a pitch to Abrams. Let's take a look at some of those catches. This is Steve Finley for the Diamondbacks.
Ooh. That was in San Francisco, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sun, day game.
Shea Stadium.
Go get her.
That's the big one, right?
That's a beauty right there. That's a beauty.
Hanging on the wall.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, he made those catches look so simple and easy.
And you mentioned Dwayne Murphy. I don't think the coaching staff from that 0-1 team gets the credit that they deserve. Each one of those guys really gave us something that we needed.
I agree, and also the pitchers, all our position players that could have been starters on elsewhere, all the teams, we were a full-bred team together. I mean, every day could have been somebody different, and everybody stepped up when they had to.
And people forget our bench, 16 pinch homers that year.
How about that? Yeah. And that was part of the plan going in. I mean, I think our average age was 34.5 on opening day.
Wow, that's old. That's really old.
Mike Morgan really pushed that up there.
Listen,
numbers were skewed.
We played Mike Morgan for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mo Man, I love you to death, brother, but you made us all feel old.
Yeah. but because of that, we said, we can't play these guys 160 games a year. They're going to need some time off here and there. We need to make sure to have good guys coming off the bench, and Danny Batista and Greg Colburn and DeLucci and Durazo. I mean, we had weapons coming off that bench.
We really did.
Well, off the bench here is Brian Kaplan, the pitching coach, trying to find out what's going on with Merrill Kelly. who's a little off, already at 50 pitches and trailing 3-0. Of course, 0-1, we always want to talk about the postseason, but Tony, there were great moments along the course of 162, and you had certainly one. And this is what we're talking about right here. Tell us about this.
We can blame Damian Miller for this one.
Why?
Because he struck out. He didn't hit into a double play, so everything was set up for me. And they both, you know, for me, it was the biggest thing. You know, I lost my father in April, so this was the first Father's Day without my dad, who was my best friend. So, listen, my bat got in the way of the ball. My dad took care of the rest.
That might have been the only time I ever cheered for one of our guys to strike out. I wanted to see T-Wo up there in that situation.
Listen,
way to go, Damian.
I love you to death, brother, but I appreciate you.
Dalen Lyle, the left fielder now. A run home on a Wood home run. Tanner with a base hit, the walk to Abrams. Here's Lyle, who flat out his first time as we chat with Steve Finley and Tony Womack. 25 years. Does it seem like 25 years, Steve?
No. Well, every time I stand up, yes.
There you go, right? What hurts today?
What doesn't hurt might be easier to figure out.
Lyle dunks it into right center. And Tanner going to come across with a 4th Washington run, and the Nationals are all over Merrill Kelly here tonight.
What doesn't hurt? Love it.
Right?
Love it. Love it.
Well, the home run by Wood led it off. Now 3 consecutive have reached with a 1 out, and they've tacked on 2 more runs.
Gotta find a way to stop the bleeding. We mentioned this Nationals team could put some runs on the board in a hurry, and they've done that so far here tonight.
They lead the major leagues in runs scored. They've scored 4 in less than 3 innings. Still just 1 out in the inning for Merrill Kelly. And now he deals with Jorbit Bibas, the 3rd baseman.
I know we're having a big celebration in September, just coincidentally when the Yankees are in town. I'm hoping you guys will both be here for that.
Just a quirk in the schedule. That's
The Yankees are in town?
Just a coincidence.
No way the Yankees are in town for
That's
the
so
celebration.
good.
No, that is the best thing we could have done.
Do you guys see each other over the course of a calendar year? Are there any golf tournaments, charity events? How does that work?
I mean, we got those kinds of events. We got the group thread.
We have a group thread, texting,
on.
we're always-
You guys know how to text?
Well,
We're learning.
When your body doesn't work as like it used to, yeah, you got to learn how to like put your fingers on that computer, man, and let them go.
Aramis Garcia back there, and Lyle has the stolen bases, 5th of the year. Nationals keeping the foot on the gas here.
Did he ask how? Did he ask us? Do we know how to desk?
Yeah, I did. I was just joking, man.
25 years is a big time, brother.
I know.
It really is. It's big.
We're slowly catching up with technology.
Believe me, I'm well behind myself. Infield coming in now for the Diamondbacks. That was a bad old guy joke, but I'm older than both of you, so. Look out, down the line, and this is more trouble. Bibas hits it into the right field corner. Abrams coming home, Lyle right behind. Nationals are jumping out to a big lead here at 6-0. Jorbit Bibas drives in 2 more, still just 1 out in the 3rd.
Well, not any cheapies either. They are smoking the ball off of Merrill Kelly tonight. Just not as sharp as we're used to seeing Merrill with his command, mixing up his speeds, mixing up his locations. He's just struggling to find the strike zone. 5
of the 6 batters in the inning have reached for the Nationals. 4 runs are home, still just 1 out. Here's the center fielder now, Dylan Cruz. Have you guys watched much Diamondback baseball this year?
A lot.
Yeah.
Listen, we're still part of this family, so it's not like it goes.
Well, that's the beauty of the organization, right?
It is.
All the way back to center is Barros under the home run porch. So what's your take on the 26 Diamondbacks?
They're young. You got veterans, but my biggest thing is you got to keep grinding every day, man. I mean, every day is different. Every pitch is different. Every inning is different. And if they understand how that this season is a marathon, not a sprint, I think they'll get better.
Yeah, I mean, you have veteran guys. You have veteran guys here that young guys can learn from. They're going to make young guy mistakes. That's going to happen. You got to accept it. But they're playing. I mean, look, they're in 2nd place in the division right now. They're doing something right. I love Perdomo. Sure. I love Carroll. Ketel Marte is going to put up his numbers. You have a solid guy at 3rd base with Arenado. Maybe his offense isn't what it used to be, but he is a leader on the field. So you got a lot of good parts right here. It's just, everything revolves around pitching. Yeah,
and the rotation's been terrific. The bullpen's done a good job.
Yep.
There's Drew Millis, the catcher. 8th man to bat here in the Washington 3rd as we chat with Steve Finley and Tony Womack. What was Bob Brenly's most annoying quirk, Steve Finley?
Just not putting me in the lineup.
Well,
Brother, he
other than the obvious.
the words right out of my mouth.
I wanted to play 162.
So did I. We trained
Right.
all
So
winter.
did all those guys.
We-
Everybody did.
Right. We trained all winter. Like, when we're not in there, we're like, okay, do I go see BB today or do I be nice?
If we didn't beat a path to his office of wanting to play, then he probably thought something was wrong.
So how did he, when you walk into his office, Tony, what do you say? How does he respond?
Well, he tells me, hey, man, I'm going to need you for the long haul. I'm just giving you a day off. You know, we got to keep our guys. Listen, I understand we got to keep our bench fresh, too. But, brother, I trained all winter long. Let's go.
So you just got the standard lip service.
He had a Rolodex for me. Just, okay, let me pull out this one today. Let me pull out this one tomorrow.
Here's all the games you're not going to play.
Well, that was a good problem to have rather than guys not wanting to play. I mean,
true.
you know, I'll deal with 25 guys that all want to play every day. I had pitchers that came into my office every day. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Yeah, but you've thrown 4 days in a row. It doesn't matter. I'm ready.
Well, Merrill Kelly, a 2-out walk to Millis, and now the 9th man to bat, the number 9 hitter, Nasim Nunez, comes up in the 3rd. That simply won't end for Merrill the mainstay, already down 6-0.
Well, I will give you in BB's defense.
Yeah.
If you take my numbers on June, I think it was June the 6th or 7th of that year, I was batting .207 with 2 home runs and 16 RBIs.
Mostly because of the back, though.
Well, it was, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's how bad I was, playing quite a bit the first two months of the season. So I being on the bench was justified. I just didn't like it.
Well, I
McFowle.
basically told him, listen, after my bad pass, listen, me sitting the bench that's not good for me. That's not good for me. Let me struggle and get back into it. But me sitting here and let my mind wander about everything, worry about my mom, worry about my brother. Nah, brother, let me get between the white lines. Let me have some kind of freedom for 3 or 4 hours.
I mean, that's kind of a manager's job. He's got to learn his people. He's got to learn. He'd seen us from up here, but not really in the clubhouse, and seeing our actions and our reactions to everything. And you know, it was a learning curve for BB, and you know, he pulled all the right strings that year, because you don't win the World Series by not.
1-1 on Nasim Nunez, chatting with Tony Womack and Steve Finley. 25 years ago, the World Series champs. Steve, how's the game different now than when you played? Other than the timer and stuff like that.
Right. I actually like the timer. I think it keeps the game moving along.
Oh, for sure.
I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, I think the automatic strike zone, I think, you know, I don't know. I was asked, do you think you could hit in this?
Yeah, no, you're not comfortable. Well, it doesn't matter. You won the World Series already anyway. Steve Finley and Tony Womack, 25 years ago with Bob Brenly, World Series champs. Guys, thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it, sir. Thanks for coming. Bet365 gives us a look around the league. Here's what else is happening in the major leagues. Aaron Judge going to be out a while with a right rib fracture for the Yankees. Max Scherzer working his way back for the Blue Jays. And Matt Chapman, remember he'd gone like 2 months without hitting a home run?
Yeah.
Hit 2 today as the Giants beat the Cubs 18-3. Knocked in 8 runs, a career high. And there's some work to do here, down 6-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. And Tommy Troy, the DH, leads it off against left-hander Foster Griffin, who's already ahead 0-1. This guy has been throwing strikes. 19 pitches, 15 strikes through the first 2 innings. Now he's got a comfortable 6-run lead. Our thanks again to Tony Womack and Steve Finley. Boy, those guys were great.
Couple of beauties.
Yeah. Right to 3rd. Bibas has it. And they retired Tommy Troy. Griffin has set down the first 7 he's faced. Well, they sent 9 men to the plate against Merrill Kelly in the 3rd. 4 scored, and just like that, it's 6-zip Washington. I told you these guys can score runs. Aramis Garcia gets the start behind the plate tonight.
Yeah, Finn's talking about the learning curve for the first-year manager. Boy, was he right.
Oh, yeah, right. It's part of it.
You know, it just because that team was so well schooled.
Aramis Garcia gives it a ride, and the answer back. First to the air for Garcia. Boy, he hit that 106 off the bat. He got every bit of it.
Yes, he did. No doubt about that one.
That's the one thing about Griffin. This is his 13th start. That's the 14th home run he's given up. That's a jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. That's the first Diamondback hit tonight.
Good for Aramis. He's been sitting over there in the dugout waiting for his opportunity. Of course, with Gabriel Moreno swinging the bat the way he has been lately. Garcia's at bats have kind of dried up. And wow, what a blast that was.
Gets something going offensively. Barossa bats ninth as center fielder. That was the first home run for Aramis Garcia since April of 2022, playing for the Reds at Colorado.
It was a slider, he said.
Slider. Barossa gets the start in center. Mentioned Griffin has spent the last 3 years in Japan pitching for the Yomiuri Giants and pitched well enough to convince the Nationals to take a shot with a one-year deal. But he went to Japan and said that's where he learned how to take the data and strategize scouting reports heading into a start, how to navigate a lineup. He sort of had to grow up over there in Japan as a former first-round pick by Kansas City, coming out of high school in Florida. So the biggest thing over there was get a little bit more mature as a starter instead of trying to just get everybody out. He started to put some thought behind what he was doing out there and just said pitching there was an unbelievable experience. He liked it so much 1 year turned into 3. Became an all-star in the Central League for the Giants. Wood backing up to the track off the bat of Jorge, who gives it a ride. It's allowed out number 2. Well, let's check in now with a comedy team of Lovello and Hovick. It's Tim Hovick, Santan Ford.
You ever trade a guy for parking in your spot?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Thought about it, though.
Who hasn't?
By the way, found out today that Mr. Lovello and Mr. Hovick were here shooting some commercials early.
Oh.
There's a whole nother wave of the comedy team coming up. I don't want to give away any of the sort of the theme, but there's several bits, and I think they go more into the comedy realm.
Oh.
I think some of these first ones were fairly dramatic. Tori was the heavy, Tim was the funny guy. Now they're leaning into the comedy a little bit more, and we'll see if Tori can handle it. I mean, it's tough to keep up with Hovick.
Well, they'll probably have a special on Netflix by the end of the season.
He might the way we're going. Cattell struck out his first time, and now he's down 0-2 his second time. Chopped to short. Nice high hop for C.J. Abrams. And boy, the Diamondbacks need some answers against Griffin, who has kept them to 1 run in 3 innings. But Aramis Garcia gets it started. His first of the year. Diamondbacks on the board, but some work to do, trailing 6-1. Oh, not Merrill Kelly's night, at least not yet. He had been so good lately after a bumpy start to the season. Merrill 4-0 in his last 5 starts. And along the way had given up just 7 runs, but he's already allowed 6 through 3 innings tonight. Coming off a 30-pitch third, and James Wood, who led off the third with a home run, leads off the 4th. Aramis Garcia back there getting the Diamondbacks their first run tonight. Wood has walked, he's homered, he scored twice, which is kind of what he does.
Yep.
23-year-old star.
He's due to strike out if you believe in the 3 true outcomes.
True. He has come into the game leading the major leagues in runs scored, and he's scored twice in 2 plate appearances tonight.
This has been a little bit of a problem for Merrill pretty much all season. Against left-handed batters, he's given up 9 homers and an OPS of .988. Against right-handed batters, only 3 homers And the OPS just over 700. There's a strikeout.
That's his big weapon against the lefties, that changeup. And Merrill has talked in years past about occasionally having trouble working into left-hand batters. But he can always pick up that out, down, and away. With this changeup is why Refi gives us a look. Third strikeout for Merrill. Here's Luis Garcia Jr., who homered in the first. We thought the Garcia homer. Here's a challenge.
Pitch was called the ball to catcher's challenging.
Ron Culpa, the crew chief, our plate umpire. Aramis Garcia back there. T-Mobile gives us a look. Ooh, boy, didn't miss by much.
Pitch was the ball. Arizona's got one challenge left.
So that cost the Diamondbacks a challenge, and the call is confirmed. Thought Garcia's home run, I mean, a home run's a home run, but it was a little bit of a fluky home run. Thought that might be a one-off, but boy, the Nationals they haven't taken their foot off the gas since. Garcia's homer is 6th of the year. Took Merrill a few starts this year to realign the mechanics, get the feel back for the changeup. He really relies on that pitch. Everything from Merrill sort of, as he said, centers around that changeup. If he doesn't have it, then it becomes a bit of a mystery as to which road to take. Turned to first. Groover's there, the rookie in his first big league start.
Groover handles that with no issues down there. Wasn't hit that hard, but gets in front of the ball, makes sure to get two hands on it, and takes the out himself at first base. Love to see that.
Jose Tena. That one is carving out of play. We'll remind you the Play Ball weekend is here. Encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. Visit playball.org to learn more about how you can attend a free event near you. Ryan Walchman hustling over there. Tena singled and scored, part of that 4-run Washington third. Does have some defensive versatility. He's had brief appearances in both the infield and the outfield, Jose Tena, but he's mostly a left-handed bat in a DH role. Chased the slider, and it's 1-2. Merrill looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. He's coming off a 30-pitch third. There's that changeup again to the left-hander. 4 strikeouts for Merrill, trying to calm the waters. It's Diamondbacks baseball, and it's presented by Progressive. Welcome back to Chase Field. Steve Berthium, Bob Brenly, Todd Walsh, Mark Grace here with you. Washington Nationals leading the majors in runs scored, have put up 6 on the board through 4 against Merrill Kelly. Aramis Garcia, a home run, the only run, in fact the only hit for the Diamondbacks against left-hander Foster Griffin, who's thrown 31 pitches through 3, 25 strikes. And Ryan Walchman starts us off for the 4th. Well, he shows bunt fouls it off. Foster Griffin was a first-rounder out of Orlando, Florida, prep prospect. In fact, made his major league debut on his birthday, July of 2020, but had to leave that very game with a left forearm issue that eventually became Tommy John surgery. Kind of disappeared for a while and went to Japan. Put some impressive numbers up and got a 1-year, $5.5 million offer from the Nationals. Come back to the big leagues for the first time since 2022. Big, tall, lanky guy, 6'3", 225. Foster Griffin.
He's calling all his own pitches out there. He's got the PitchCom transmitter on his left side of his belt right there. And
need some extra buttons for this guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
7 pitches he throws. Got the fastball by him at 91. Well, when you got 7 pitches, 91 might look like 95 sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And you mentioned earlier he went to Japan and learned how to sequence his pitches a little better, how to set up a hitter, show him this pitch, and then the next pitch will get him out.
Yeah, kind of like postgraduate work in pitching. And he's looking pretty good right now. Gets the strikeout of Waldschmidt. That's his second.
Hey, D-backs fans, when the Diamondbacks hit a home run like Aramis Garcia did back in the 3rd inning, you score a free jumbo jack from Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink.
And it's still the Diamondbacks' only hit tonight. Corbin hit a rocket ball to second, on which Nasim Nunez made a spectacular diving catch to likely take away extra bases. Then hit a patented Corbin-Carroll gap double written all over it. But Nunez just grabbed it out of the sky.
And then lost it momentarily, but trapped it with his right arm against his chest to get the out.
Corbin coming off a big 3-hit night last night against the Dodgers, doubled and homered. The sinker lands, and it's 0-2. Corbin had 6 hits in the 4 games against LA, doubled twice, homered twice in that series. Trying to get something started here tonight. Wow, he's throwing everything up there, but the kitchen sink, that's the split. 2 strikeouts open up the 4th for Griffin. Now this from Arizona 529.
Knock it out of the park when saving for your child's future educational needs. Open an AZ 529 education savings plan today at az529.gov.
Nolan Arenado in the cleanup spot. Grounded out his first time. Nolan hit in 3 of the 4 games against LA, doubled and homered in that series. Nationals came in here having been swept at home in 3 games this week by the Marlins. Well, they've come out swinging tonight, a 6-1 lead in the 4th. Here's the new skipper, Blake Butera, hired in November. He was kind of the other version, Blake Butera, of Tony Vitello with the Giants. Of course, the Giants made headlines hiring Vitello from the University of Tennessee. Blake Butera had been a minor league manager for a while, but he'd been in their front office in Tampa Bay in player development. And so this was also kind of a new thing for him. Young guy. And boy, he's pushing all the right buttons.
There's some very talented young players on that ball club. Some of them still learning their way at the major league level, but he seems to relate to them extremely well.
Yeah, the Lerner family, which has owned the club since '06, made some changes. Dismissed longtime president of baseball ops Mike Rizzo last July, along with manager Dave Martinez, and they have a whole new front office, new coaching staff, and a new natitude, as it were. Is that still a thing over there, an attitude?
Sure.
You don't know.
Oh, well, it might be. Or it might not be.
Never leave your wingman. Full count, 3-2 on Arenado. Boy, Foster Griffin with that sinker strikes out the side in the 4th. He got Waldschmidt, Carroll, and Arenado, and he leads it 6-1.
That frighten you?
Rated PG-13.
Merrill Kelly struggling out of the chute today. His command is a little off, but it doesn't bother the Nats. A pitch way off the plate inside was hit hard. That ball off the bat of James Wood. Sinker off the plate, low and away. That was really the only pitch in the strike zone that was hit hard in that last inning.
And Merrill has walked 3, struck out 4. He's already at 78 pitches through 4. Had a 30-pitch 3rd. And C.J. Abrams, a 1-pitch out here to start the 5th. I mean, I guess the Nationals just decided to swing at the first thing you see.
Yeah, the first thing you think you can get a bat on, hack at it. They chased pitches all around the zone, up, down, in, out, and most of the time made solid contact.
Quick out in the 5th. Merrill's retired 5 in a row now. Here's Lyle, who singled and scored, drove in a run in that 3rd. Dalen Lyle, the left fielder. Second rounder in 2021 out of high school in Louisville. This one is a rocket ball to right. Lyle, goodbye. The third Washington home run against Merrill Kelly, and the Nationals have a 7-1 lead.
Now 10 homers on the season given up by Merrill Kelly against left-handed hitters. That's 91 up and out over the plate. Man.
7 runs, 6 hits. They've hit 3 homers.
I was just about to say Merrill's job now is to hold the Nationals right there. Give your offense a chance to crawl back into this ball game somehow.
Corbett, Bebas, Groover, Merrill covers, and there's 2 down in the 5th. Well, Merrill now making his 10th start this year. He's given up 13 home runs. 3 in 5 innings.
10 to lefties.
2 outs for Dylan Cruz, is 0 for 2. A lot of those home runs that Merrill gave up were early in the year when he's coming off that injury and kind of trying to figure out the mechanical part of things. Good slider right there to Cruz. Rolled to third. Arenado. Cruz really runs well, gets up the line quick. But Dalen Lyles, 8th of the year, makes it 7-1 Nationals. It's Diamondbacks baseball presented by Y-Refi. History.
Todd Walsh back here at Chase Field, and guys, one last piece of information that we need to sort of break down from last night's walk-off, and it's not the Marte homer as much as it was Geraldo Perdomo with the Gatorade cooler and the toss. It was not intended, I don't think, at all for Ketel Marte. A direct hit to Eduardo Rodriguez. Merrill Kelly with collateral damage, and there was no way I could get to Geraldo today, the perpetrator. He was like the wind. He literally ran through the clubhouse during media availability hours. Couldn't talk to Merrill Kelly because he's pitching, but I did get Eduardo Rodriguez. I walked over and said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And he said, "I know what you're going to ask." I said, "Well, okay." And he said, "I don't know. I don't know why. It just seems to keep happening." So I'll tell you later, but revenge is a dish best served cold. That's it. Here's to Groover and maybe his first hit, Steve.
Well, James at first base in his big league debut. Close pitch is a ball, says Ron Culpa. Well, James Groover making his major league debut tonight, grounded out his first time up. Just up from Reno today.
You know, maybe it's because I'm a grandfather and I'm a lot more careful and cautious now than I used to be, but I hate that. Those Gatorade barrels are heavy when they're full of water and ice, and guys are running around dumping it on each other's heads. Somebody's going to get hurt. And the gum. Can you imagine my granddaughters with a bucket full of gum, but it gets thrown on the field?
What would happen if they had a bucket full of gum?
Oh.
Be stuck to every piece of furniture in the house.
They would blow a bubble as big as this stadium.
Well, he's worked the count full to James Groover in his second major league at bat. A 3-2 pitch now from Foster Griffin. Once more to second. And Nunez has got it. He's grounded out there twice, and there's one away in the 5th.
Well, if that number 16 that James Groover's wearing looks familiar, it's because Travis Lee, Connor Jackson, Chris Owings, and Reggie Sanders wore number 16 with the D-backs.
Hey, help send your Diamondbacks to Philadelphia this summer. You can vote in the 2026 Konami eBaseball MLB All-Star ballot. Vote daily. dbacks.com/all-star. Vote early, vote often. Geraldo Perdomo has been a National League All-Star. Curveball's ball 1. Still just 1 hit against Griffin, who struck out the side of the 4th. And that is fair at third. Tough play for Bebas. Long throw. Wow, what a play.
Wow.
Very impressive down there. Jorbit Bebas, the third baseman, and a nice scoop by Garcia on the other end. That's a Y refi slow-mo look.
Go up the ladder, stop his momentum in foul territory, and a great pick over there at first by Garcia. Almost popped out of the webbing of the glove right there, but able to recover in time to get Jerry at first.
Tommy Troy, the DH. And so far, Griffin only one over the minimum. He has retired 14 of the 15 he's faced.
Boy, and the mix of pitches. I mean, that pitch right there, the cut fastball, that's his most used pitch. But his other secondary pitches, almost the same percentage of all of them. Really mixes it up well.
Just shows you that you don't have to throw 100 miles an hour to be a good major league pitcher. And he learned all that stuff in Japan. We talked about left-hander Philip Abner up yesterday from Reno with the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Merrill Kelly's at 85 pitches through 5. Under the glove of Bebas, and Tommy Troy's aboard. Just the second hit for the Diamondbacks. Well, Tommy shot that one by him.
I think part of that base hit can be attributed to the fact they showed bunt. That drew the third baseman Rivas in a little bit, and he just smacked it past him.
It's their second hit, second base runner. A chance for Aramis Garcia, who's got the other hit, a home run in the third, his first of the year. Not that Griffin has been effective, he's also been efficient. He's not even at 60 pitches yet. 2 outs in the 5th. Merrill Kelly's at 85 pitches through 5. This is Garcia with 1 out into third, his first as a Diamondback.
Nice short, quick swing, got the barrel on it, and rode it out of here to left center, deep left center.
Unfortunately, Washington's hit 3 home runs, and they have a 7-1 lead. Out in front of the changeup, and it's 1-2. Aramis was up briefly with the Diamondbacks last year. Ran out of room on the roster last June, had to designate him for assignment. They asked him to stay in the organization if he cleared waivers. He did. And it's worked out well. He's back with the big league club this year. Won't chase the high fastball. It's 2-2. Spent the bulk of last season at Aramis with Reno. Had 14 homers down there for the Aces last year. 70 games. Out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Gets this one in the air to center. Dylan Cruz has room. And Griffin is out of the 5th with a 7-1 lead.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, it's been all Washington Nationals here against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 7-1 Nationals lead. Merrill Kelly done after 5. Here's the left-hander Philip Abner. Recalled from Reno yesterday. He's made 1 appearance this year, April 30th at Milwaukee. 34 pitches. Been pitching pretty well in AAA Reno. They figure Abner somewhere 25-30 pitches, so he could be a 1+ guy. Andrew Millis, the catcher, will spin around and bat the right-hand side. The switch hitter leads off the National 6th.
Yeah, remember we mentioned the fact that the first 6 hitters in this national lineup are all left-handed, and then 2 switch hitters at the bottom of the order, so Abner might get a little bit of a run here.
Maybe not against Millis, who has been hit by a pitch and walk so far tonight. A switch hitter. He's got 17 hits this year, but all 17 has come of a left-hand batter, including both his home runs. So He's yet to break through from the right side this year. I always wondered about that when the balance of the switch hitter is so tilted to one side or the other. I just think, well, why don't you just not do that?
That happened to somebody that was a real good player. I can't remember. Let me think on that a little bit. But there was a guy who was a switch hitter and was miserable from one side of the plate.
No, I want to say Paul LeDuc, if that's not right. And sure enough, teed him right up for that one. There's his first hit from the right-hand side. Hey, a special event ticket pack, and you can play catch on the field before the game against the Twins. It's Sunday, June 21st, on the catch with the field and dad, the whole thing. dbacks.com/dad. It's the ultimate Father's Day gift. That's pretty good. Take dad down to the field. Play
great.
catch, take a selfie or two, whatever you got. Use your big dad energy down there and get it. dbacks.com/dad. That's, of course, Father's Day, June 21st. Yassim Nunez 0 for 2, number 9 hitter. Another switch hitter in this lineup.
Just a very uncharacteristic outing for Merrill Kelly tonight. In his previous 5 starts, he was 4-1, had given up 4 home runs and 9 runs total. Tonight, 3 homers and 7 runs.
And as you said, it's not like every pitch was down the middle of the plate, as you illustrated earlier. Marte just nearly got there, went off the tip of the glove, and a couple of singles open up the National 6th. Boy, Cattell really made an effort to get out there, but that's a base hit.
Might have been tough to get Nunez at first base anyway. No chance to get a double play. Looked like it hit off the thumb of his glove and scooted out into right field.
Well, here comes Wood, who has walked and homered and struck out. All from the leadoff spot. He leads the major leagues in runs scored, and he scored twice tonight. I heard Steve Finley talk about watching James Wood come up as a prospect. Wood was a second rounder by the Padres out of the IMG Academy in Bradenton. And he went to the Nationals a year after he was drafted, just a baby at that point, in the trade that sent Juan Soto to San Diego at the time. They got Wood and Abrams, who you could argue are the 2 best players in that trade. And there's another base hit for Wood. And they're loaded now with the no outs in the 6th.
That ball was absolutely creamed. 114 miles an hour off the bat.
So Garcia will get together with Abner as we hook up here with Andrew the home buyer.
Catch the best deal for your house by calling me, Andrew the home buyer.
I love having a good staff. They found 4 guys that
I've never heard you compliment them like that before. Frankly, it's a little embarrassing.
In lieu of payment. Guys that gave up switch hitting because they were so much better from one side than the other. Tucker Barnhart was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Victorino.
That's it.
J.T. Snow and Cedric Mullins.
Eventually, you got, it's not worth it. Well, Blake Buter's got some right-hand bats on the bench, and he's not satisfied with a 7-1 lead, certainly not with the bases loaded, no outs. So Curtis Mead, the Australian, is in the on-deck circle, sent to bat for Tenna. They got Millis at third, Nunez at second, and Wood at first. Garcia homered in the first inning, his 6th of the year. 1 for 3. Nobody out in the 6th. Garcia for a long time was the second baseman for the Nationals. He's a big guy for that spot, maybe, so he's moved over to first here. They've sort of had a revolving door at first base in recent years in Washington. And this is well struck to deep right center field. Barroso under the home run porch, and this one's a grand slam. And the Nationals have opened things way up. It's 11-1, and Garcia has his second home run tonight. He's knocked in 6. So call it if you want a Dodger hangover, but this one feels just as bad. Why Refi gives us a look. His first career grand slam. Luis Garcia Jr.
Looked like a middle of the plate slider that time that just didn't take enough break to get out near the end of the bat. He barreled it out of here.
So Philip Abner's faced 4 batters. He's given up 3 singles and a home run. And here's Curtis Mead to bat for Jose Tena.
Unselfish, one to get to the home.
Nice play by a fan out there on the home run porch. I think if a fan catches the ball, it should still count as an out.
Well, that would be revolutionary. Put a lot of pressure on the paying customers too.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the Savannah Bananas, but usually during the course of the game they have an inning or two where the fans can actually catch foul balls or field a foul ball on the ground and throw it back onto the field.
So wait a minute, what? So it counts as an out?
Yeah.
Okay. Curtis Mead. It's already got a career high 8 home runs his first season with the Nationals. Marte's under that one. They finally get an out here in the 6th. I just see the Savannah Bananas doing, the gymnastics and all the stuff they do. C.J. Abrams now, another guy that got in the Soto deal. You trade a player of Juan Soto's caliber, rarely do you ever get equal value. You decide you have to move him for whatever reason, payroll, free agency, what have you. But boy, the Nationals, when they made that Soto deal, came pretty close.
You got 2 key cogs for the future of this organization, the guy at the plate and the guy hitting leadoff.
Right now they're 2 best players, both having all-star seasons, and now Abrams wants to get in on the act. And this one's out of here.
Kidding me?
That's his 13th. And the Nationals are pouring it on. It's 12-1.
I mean, the Diamondbacks are tied with the Braves for most comeback wins this season, but they're making it really tough on themselves tonight.
5 Washington home runs, one of them a grand slam. This is the 13th for Abrams.
Pretty left-handed swing, gets some backspin on that ball, gets a little extra carry.
Boy, Philip Abner, it's been a rough one for him. Just got the call to come back up from Reno yesterday. 6th round pick by the Diamondbacks 3 years ago. The Florida Gators from Charlotte, North Carolina. And had been pitching well enough at Reno to get up here. 18 strikeouts and 19 1/3 all in relief. But boy, he's been knocked around here tonight. Tough one for Philip. C.J. Abrams. Garcia homered in the 1st. Wood homered in the 3rd. Lyle homered in the 5th. Garcia the grand slam in the 6th. Now Abrams the solo shot. Here's Lyle, who has a single and a home run tonight, 2 for 3. Nationals 3rd in the National League East. They're a game under 500. And were just swept at home by the Miami Marlins in a 3-game set in which the Nationals scored only 7 runs at Nats Park. 7 runs in 3 games, and they lead here 12-1. There has to be a point too when you're playing 23 games in 24 days where guys are just tired, especially 4 games against the Dodgers and the intensity of those games. This is in with a fastball. It's 2-2. Bounce to second for Cattell. 2 outs in the 6th. Here's Jorbit Bibas as we check in with the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Arizona's Quit line offers free support. Whether you want to quit cigarettes, vapes, pouches, or chew, resources are available 24/7, no matter your insurance status.
Left on left for Jorbit Bibas, the third baseman, who had a 2-run double in the third. He's 1 for 3. Originally signed out of Venezuela by the Dodgers, traded to the Yankees several years later, and made his major league debut with New York last year. Played 29 games in pinstripes. Picked up by Washington this year, about a week ahead of opening day. It's been pretty consistent for them, both at third base and second. 25 years old.
He's one of 2 starters for the Nationals that have not scored tonight.
Paxton Schultz, the right-hander, in the Washington bullpen. Picked him up off waivers from the Blue Jays in January. And Abner gets the strikeout as Garcia hangs on. A rough 6th inning and a rough night, down 12-1.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Well, with a 12-1 lead, Blake Butera will go to his bullpen now. After Foster Griffin was pretty impressive through 5 innings, gave up just 1 run, 2 hits. Here's Paxton Schultz, big right-hander out of Utah Valley University. His second stint on the big league roster this year, his 19th appearance.
Strike thrower, 24 strikeouts in 22 and a third innings pitched. He's only walked 7 batters.
He's got a cutter and a 4-seamer, a lot of fastballs. They picked him up this winter off waivers from the Blue Jays. And he'll face Jorge Barrosa to lead off the home half of the 6th inning. And Jorge takes a timeout. Barrosa, Marte, Waldy, 9-1-2 in the 6th. They've been out hit 11-2. They trail it 12-1.
The Diamondbacks are probably happy just to get Foster Griffin out of this ball game. You can understand Blake Butera pulling the plug on him. Looked like he had a lot of gas left in the tank, but save those for the next time.
Done after 5 innings and 62 pitches, 43 for strikes. Griffin gave up just the 1 run. The Garcia homer, only 2 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
He was very impressive. I mean, the first left-handed starter that's really stymied the Diamondbacks this year.
That's a great point. You're right. And stymied might be underselling it. Fastball misses up. It's full 3-2. Marte on deck. Gattel 0 for 2 so far. Jorge chased that high cutter, and Schultz has his first strikeout. Marte has struck out, grounded out against Griffin. He gets his first look down from the left side of the plate tonight. Cattell, since the batting average for the year dropped down to 209, that was back on May 15th, has hit 371. That's quite a swing. He's got 22 RBIs in his last 17 games. I guess they figured Griffin had worked his way pretty much through that lineup twice. No need to push it.
And we saw this with the Diamondbacks. When your starting pitching is really good, sometimes those guys in the bullpen don't get the innings they need, and Buter's taking this opportunity to maybe get some of his relievers in there that need some work.
3-1 on Cattell with Waldschmidt on deck. Cutter's in there. Marte's now homered 6 times in his last 15 games. 11 on the year. 3-2 on the way. Drives this to center. Drives Cruz all the way back to the track. And it's allowed out number 2. You can purchase a Hello Kitty Bobble Pack for Tuesday, June 16th. You'll get a game ticket plus this exclusive Hello Kitty Bobble. Visit dbacks.com/Hello Kitty for your special event ticket pack.
I have an issue with the grip on the ball here. It looks like he's losing it. I don't know, maybe a change-up grip. I'm not sure.
Splitter, maybe?
Could be.
I'm not sure he has any fingers.
Well, he's got a thumb. He's throwing with mittens on.
One for the thumb. Waldschmidt 0 for 2. He had a pair of 2-hit games in the Dodgers series. And he's got a base hit here, just their 3rd tonight. Lyle over to get it in left center, and it's a 2-out single. We had a double out there just like that last night.
Starting to make real solid contact. Strikeouts were getting to be a little bit of an issue for Waldy, but making solid contact here tonight.
Came in with 22 strikeouts and 49 at bats. And he's punched out once tonight, but boy, the swing starts to look better and better. The contact more solid. Corbin 0 for 2.
That's something that back in the day you just would not see.
What?
A guy swinging at a first pitch down by 11 runs. You know, the standard operating procedure back then was you take until you get a strike. You got to get some runners on base. You got to make some things happen. The last thing in the world you want to do is make an out on a first pitch.
Adrian Del Castillo has come out in the on-deck circle. He would bat for Nolan Arenado. So Torrey trying to get Nolan a half game off in what might seem like a lost cause here. 12-1 in the 6th. Dell needs some at-bats too.
Millis behind the plate. I mentioned the pitcher was calling the pitches. I'm not sure about now, but watch after he gives a target, he puts the glove face down in the dirt. I haven't seen anybody do that before. See something new every day.
Well, you do. And I was going, yeah, hey, you're right. Here's Cade Stroud in the Sanderson Ford bullpen, set to make his Diamondback debut, acquired from the Orioles in the offseason, and that Blaze Alexander deal. He came up with Philip Abner from Reno yesterday. Well, he went full on Marte, got the deep fly ball for the out, the base hit by Walshman, and now it's 3-2 on Corbin. Del Castillo on deck. Paxton Schultz.
Now the catcher is now calling the pitches with his pitch comm, as opposed to when Foster Griffin was out there and called his own game.
Yeah, that's Millis back there. And Corbin will take a timeout. And you're right about that mid facing down to the ground. Gotta hide the buttons. There goes Walshman, and Corbin strikes out. Off to the 7th we go. It's a rough night for the home 9, down 12-1.
Life.
My brisket.
Great catch in the second inning by Ryan Walshman, playing left field tonight. Little sinking floater out there in front of him, and he makes a diving catch coming straight in. That's our StatCast, provided by Google Cloud. Boy, he's made some outstanding defensive plays.
Arvin Vivas at in to lead off the 2nd, and now we start the 7th with Dylan Cruz. And their face Philip Abner. Adrian Del Castillo takes over at first. And James Groover, who was at first in his major league debut, now plays 3rd. Groover's played both those 2 spots at Reno, mostly 3rd base, but plenty of first as well. And so Del Castillo goes into Arenado's spot, which is 4th in the lineup. Cruz 0 for 3, starts off the 7th against Philip Abner. Cruz was a guy they planned on building around, the number 2 pick in the draft by the Nationals just 3 years ago out of LSU. Trying to get him going. In fact, they started him out in the minors this year with the idea that he would create some early season offensive momentum and then bring him up, and had kind of a modest start down there, but picked up the pace, and then they finally did bring him up May 19th from AAA Rochester, where they said he'd been torching the ball. Only played 13 games. Millis, the catcher, has been hit by a pitch, walked and singled. He's on deck. 7, 8, 9 due up in the National 7th. And he catches him looking at a fastball. Second strikeout for Philip Abner.
Good location there. Caught Cruz looking for something else that time. Spotted it right on the inside corner.
Millis, the backup catcher, just got his first ever hit this season for the right side of the plate against Abner when he led off the 6th. Runs that 4-seamer in there again. Drew Millis out of Belleville, Illinois, a 7th round pick out of Missouri State by the A's back in 2019. Bounced around a bit. Acquired by the Nationals at the trade deadline 2 years ago.
Switch hitting catchers usually do last a little bit longer.
I would think.
Than the guy that hits from one side only.
Not much you can't do. You could have a whole career as a backup catcher that way, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, Millis last August was catching. He got clipped in the catcher's mitt on a swing at a game at Yankee Stadium. Suffered a fracture and dislocation of the finger on his left hand. That's his catching hand. And to add insult to injury, he was given a catcher's interference call.
Oh.
A swing that pretty much ended it. That did end his season, in fact. So he's healthy again this year. The backup catcher to Keibert Ruiz.
And Millis throws pretty good. 224 stolen base attempts against him. He's caught 6. Has had 4 pass balls and 16 wild pitches when he was behind the plate. I think some of that can be attributed to some of the pitchers that the Nationals have run out there out of the bullpen.
Yeah, they're still trying to develop a pitching staff to keep up with some of these young athletes on the offensive side of things. They do have Cade Cavalli, who was a first rounder a while back, who's healthy now and having a nice year. He'll pitch here Sunday. Veteran Zach Littell goes tomorrow afternoon against Eduardo Rodriguez. Michael Soroka goes Sunday for the Diamondbacks. Nunez on deck. It's 3-2 on Drew Millis. Abner with a 1-out walk. Millis has been aboard 4 times. 2 walks, a hit batter, and a single. And Torrevella will walk out to the mound to go get Cade Stroud for what will be his Diamondback debut. On a rough night for Diamondback pitchers, Merrill Kelly included. Nationals hit 5 home runs, 1 a grand slam. They've opened up a 12-1 lead, and here on his way in for the bullpen is Cade Stroud.
I say keep the change.
Welcome to Jock in the Box.
Well, Philip Abner's night is over, responsible for Millis at first base with 1 out in the 7th. And here in his Diamondback debut is the right-hander Cade Stroud, acquired from Baltimore this spring in a trade for Blaze Alexander. 20 appearances with the Reno Aces this year. Picked up a pair of saves for the Aces. Torey Lovullo says there's a lot of stuff here with Cade Stroud. It's high octane. And Nunez looks at a cut fastball. 4-seam fastball for Stroud. Sinker, cutter, curve. Was impressive with the Orioles last season. 28-year-old right-hander.
Made his major league debut last May against these Nationals.
25 relief appearances as a rookie with the Baltimore Orioles last year. Pitched to a 1.71 earned run average. Acquired February 5th in the Blaze Alexander deal. And Nunez continues the Nationals hit parade. That's his 2nd hit tonight. Brings up the dangerous James Wood. Wood has walked, homered, singled, leading the major leagues in runs scored. He scored 3 more tonight, all for the leadoff spot. Cade Stroud did not make the opening day roster. Had some difficult Cactus League outings this spring. Still finding his way, as Torey Lovullo put it, but just needed more consistent strikes, which was a mandate for all the pitchers in camp this spring. Got to put the ball on the plate.
Can't defend a walk.
Cade Stroud can mix up 5 pitches. Leans on that cutter, which was pretty effective for him last year. And Baltimore averaged 96 miles an hour with a 4-seam fastball. Baxter's making sure every hair is in place for your camera appearance. Cade Stroud can shape his breaking balls. He's got a curveball for the lefties, a sweeper to the right-hand hitters. Gets a lot of ground ball outs with a sinker. Had a ground ball rate with that pitch nearly 57%. So he's the kind of guy that can get you out of a mess if you're in it.
Double play would work right now.
2-1 on Wood. Millis at 2nd and Nunez at 1st. Cade Stroud from Mansfield, Texas, pitched at West Virginia WVU. Orioles got him there with a 12th round pick in the 2019 draft. Garcia on deck. He's got a 2-run homer and a grand slam tonight. Boy, as hard as Wood hits the ball, he does not want to foul it off his leg or foot. That one hurt.
Oh, right on the knee.
Man.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is just a 23-year-old guy. Was an all-star last year for the first time. Only one player in the majors last year hit at least 30 homers, 38 doubles, and stole 15 bags. It was James Wood. And he's trying to cut down on the strikeouts. The walks are way up. He's been a very effective leadoff man for them. He's already a star.
Yeah, I was wishfully looking at the stat sheet to see how many double plays he's grounded into this year. Only one.
That figures, right? He was better than a 3-WAR player with Washington last year. An all-star, took part, in fact, in the home run derby. Drew Millis, the runner at second. Nasim Nunez at first. 3-2 now on James Wood. There's the cut fastball. Wood will challenge. Ron Copa.
Pitch is called a strike. The hitter's challenging.
This is presented to us by T-Mobile, and the result is a strike.
Pitch is a strike. Washington's 1 count left.
Just caught the bottom of that zone for Cade Stroud. He's got his first strikeout as a Diamondback. Everything Stroud throws moves. That sinker, the cutter, the breaking stuff. Notice that when you watch the video from Baltimore last year. There's stuff. That's what they always ask about pitchers, right? How's the stuff? How's your stuff? You got stuff?
You got good stuff.
What kind of stuff you got? Stuff. It's sort of a weird word, but everybody kind of knows what it means.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's less formal than talking about your arsenal.
Repertoire.
Repertoire.
Fancy words. How's your stuff? Well, Garcia's got plenty of stuff tonight. A 2-run homer in the first and a grand slam in the 6th. Career high 6 runs batted in for the Nationals first baseman. Up the middle for Jerry. And Stroud's out of the 7th. Time to stretch. Down 12-1.
Buy refi today. This is a dream. It's what we worked for all those years. I think this is what it's worth right here, you know. Let it be known that nothing was for waste, all the effort, time, money, whatever it may be. It's a hard grind, obviously. It's a very rare opportunity, and I just want to have fun and make the best of it today.
Thought it was important to hear from Mr. Groover, who's going to bat second here in the inning, Steve, and still looking for that first hit. His family in attendance here tonight, watching his major league debut. Tough night for the team, obviously, and I just love what Torrey said about him earlier today. Basically, just remember, guys, he's here to play and get at bats.
He sure is. They're going to see time at first base. He's already at third base tonight. Nunez way under this one for Del Castillo. And there's one out. Jacob Young is taken over in center as James Wood has come out of the game. Dylan Cruz slides over to right, plays him. There's the defensive changes for the Nationals. And here is Lou James Groover, who was twice grounded out to second base in his major league debut. Diamondbacks' second-round pick in the 2023 draft out of North Carolina State. James fouls that one off. He's from Marietta, Georgia. Began his college career at one season at UNC Charlotte, hit .351 there, and then transferred to play in the ACC with the Wolfpack. 24 years old. Tell you what, we watched Lou James take batting practice all afternoon. He hit a couple up by cold beers and cheeseburgers. Got a nice easy swing and ball jumps off the bat. He was hitting .322 at Reno when he got called up. Torrey Lovullo put it
like this afternoon. He said Lou James pushed his way into this opportunity, progressing on both sides of the baseball, kind of plowed his way into this decision. And he could be a right-hand DH bat. Play first, play third. Rolls it to short, backhanded by Abrams. Low throw, bounces its way to first for Garcia. And Groover's 0 for 3.
For Lou James, he's Major League Baseball player number 23,666.
Cool the way they do that.
Yep.
So think of it this way. We had 42,000 at the game here last night. So picture the ballpark full of people. Then cut that number in half. And that's the number of people who have been good enough to play in the major leagues. It's amazing when you think of it in those terms. You could fit all of Major League Baseball into one small minor league ballpark. In fact, tonight we're right about there, 24,000. Incredible. The hardest game there is. Perdomo 0 for 2. Tell you what, since they took him out of the top of the lineup, and it's only been 2 games, but boy, he looks like a different guy.
Yeah, stinging the ball once again.
At bats last night were great. Hit the ball hard, hit another one hard right there.
Quick bat through the zone that time. Little topspin liner just gets over the head of Nunez out there at second base.
Just the 4th hit for the Diamondbacks. A 2-out single. There's Tommy Troy. Tommy had a base hit his last time. He's the DH tonight. And Perdomo will take second uncontested. Nice influx of youth. It started with Ryan Waldschmidt, then Tommy Troy was right behind. Tonight, Lou James Groover. Tommy had a good Dodgers series, 4 hits and a walk, picked up his first career home run at LA's expense. Popped it up. Millis with the mask in hand. And he's got the baseball instead. That gets us to the 8th inning. 12 runs, 12 hits for Washington. It's 12-1.
Vargas feeling good today, and he will be available off the bench. We just thought it made a lot of sense after taking him off the field yesterday to give him a full night to recover, full work day, just to see how he feels. I mentioned to you last night he was dancing in my office last night, trying to dance his way into the lineup.
And there he is. He managed to get in there eventually. Ildemaro Vargas takes over at second base for Ketel Marte, as Curtis Mead leads off the Nationals' 8th behind Cade Stroud, making his D-backs debut tonight. Of course, Vargas, after last night's frightening and violent collision with the Dodgers' Max Muncy, had x-rays. They took x-rays of the thigh, the ribs, the neck, all negative. And he said, the whole body hurts. It feels like I ran into a truck. And he might have.
It kind of looked like he ran into a truck last night.
Yeah, let's take a look again at that play last night. It scared the heck out of everybody. Max Muncy, Nelly's late cover in the bag. Muncy and Vargas going for the same spot, and there's nowhere to go. Wow.
Yeah, and there's really nobody to blame on that. I saw some stuff online today. They were trying to say that Muncy was playing dirty. He just put his arms up to protect himself. Both guys happened to go the same direction.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Vargas said he thought for a second that it was a foul ball and then realized it was fair and just trying to make a play when Nelly was late getting to the bag. By the way, Nelly totally owned that, to his credit.
Yeah.
So that is my fault. I should have been there.
You know, that's something that unfortunately has happened several times this season with Diamondbacks pitchers not getting over to cover the bag on a ball hit to the right side of the infield.
Torey Lovullo said today that Jeff Bannister has attended to that situation, and as Torey put it, Banny's been on a rampage today.
Good.
Because yeah, it's not by any means Ryan Nelson. It's kind of become a bit of an epidemic lately with D-backs pitchers. And there's Jeff Bannister, who's you know, kind of the pit boss down there.
Yeah. I mean, when Banny speaks, everybody stops what they're doing and they listen attentively.
I know I do. Curtis Mead leads off the Nationals' 8th. Muncy was asked a lot of questions, obviously, about that. He said neither guy knew which direction they were going to go, he and Vargas, and they both kind of went the wrong way. Both did the same thing.
Yep.
He said, I definitely did not mean to run into him.
Well, it's not like Muncy came away from it unscathed.
Yeah, he was lightheaded and had to be checked for a concussion. Fortunately, he's okay.
He had his goggles on as he ran down the first baseline. I think that's what cut his nose. He was bleeding out of the right side of his nose.
C.J. Abrams on deck. It's a full count on Curtis Mead. Cade Stroud with a walk to lead off the 8th, down 12-1. Yeah, Max Muncy, he got his share of the beating as well.
Yeah, that was bleeding rather profusely when they got out to the field to check on him. He tried to get up to his feet one time and immediately sat back down and ended up laying down on the ground again.
It was the lightheadedness that kind of scared folks, so they gave him all the concussion protocols. So we wish Max Muncy the best. Great to see Vargas back out there. That was scary. Abrams homered his last time up. One of 5 Nationals home runs tonight, 2 by Luis Garcia, including a grand slam. D-backs debut for Cade Stroud, acquired this spring from the Orioles in the Blaze Alexander trade. This was why Cade Stroud didn't make the opening day roster. When we talked about the mandate that all the pitchers have got to throw strikes, Cade just wasn't throwing strikes consistently enough. Unlike Brandon Garcia. That's another reason Brandon didn't make the club coming out of spring, but he's been outstanding. And they have high hopes for Cade Stroud as well. Back-to-back 3-ball counts open up the inning, and now it's back-to-back walks. He's walked the first 2 in the 8th of a 12-1 game. And Brian Kaplan's wearing out a path out to that mound tonight. Well, before the game against the Twins coming up Saturday, June 20th, it's a reminder to pick up the Gabriel Moreno soccer jersey. Now, this is a really cool item. It's got Gabby's name and number on the back, the big soccer size numerals, and the D-backs logo on the front, courtesy of Wendy's. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com. The date again, Saturday, June 20th. As usual, you've stolen an advance copy.
Well, it was.
Add to your collection of soccer jerseys.
Laying in the vicinity of my chair, so.
Most things are. Trying to get Cade Stroud pointed back in the right direction.
And as usual, Jerry Perdomo, the last one to leave the mound after that mound visit. Some words of encouragement for Cade. We're behind you. Let him put it in play.
He takes that leadership position very seriously, Jerry. Dalen Lyle has one of the Mariners, the Nationals home runs. He has singled, homer, knocked in 2 runs, and scored twice, left fielder. Well, the Nationals, as we know, as we've mentioned a million times, lead the major leagues in runs scored. They've scored 12 more today. Going to have your share of double-digit run totals along the way to leading the industry in runs. So they now have 9 games this year. 9 times they've scored double-digit runs. Only one team has done that more. Bob Brenly. Who is it?
Dodgers.
Correct. Right on it. Boy, you didn't even need to phone a friend. Nothing. Do they still do that? I don't think so. Yeah, Dodgers have 10 games of double-digit runs. Nationals now have 9. And Cade Stroud walked the first 2 behind runaway 2-0 on Lyle. And he lifts it out to fairly deep left center. Jorge Barrosa in pursuit. And there's one away in the 8th. Jorbit Bibas 2-run double in the third, 1 for 4. The third baseman checks in. Another young guy that is contributing on this Nationals club, 25 years old, just turned 25 this spring. They picked him up right before opening day for the Yankees, and he's had a nice year for them. And again, Cade Stroud falling behind in the count. It's 2-0. Well, it was a rough one for Philip Abner, called up yesterday with Cade Stroud from Reno, and Cade is having trouble. He's thrown 31 pitches so far. Only 12 for strikes. He's walked the first 2 batters in this inning. He's got 1 out, but is behind on Bebas 3-0. And he's walked 3 of the first 4 in the 8th inning, down 12-1. And Torey Lovullo is going to have to go get him. He will check in with Ron Culpa, and we might have.
I think ADC is kind of making his way out there. I'm not sure.
He pointed out to the outfield. Pavin Smith coming off elbow surgery is warming up Tommy Troy, and Corbin Carroll is going to come out of the game. Barossa looks like he's going to go over to right. Waldschmidt to center. Tommy Troy's been the DH. Now, Pavin Smith was a high school pitcher and a very good high school pitcher, but of course is coming off elbow surgery. Corbin Carroll's night is done as we watch the pieces kind of move around the chessboard here. And Max Esposito is out to talk to Cade Stroud, the athletic trainer.
Yeah, he just didn't look right out there. He took a lot of time between some pitches and just walked around the mound, kind of shaking his right arm out a little bit. Not sure if there's an injury issue or just didn't feel comfortable out there.
All right, so Tommy's going to left. Waldschmidt is in center. Barossa's in right to replace Corbin Carroll. Pavin Smith will play first base for Del Castillo, and of course, as we know, Torey Lovullo prefers, when you have to have a position player pitch, to have it a catcher, because they're used to throwing that 60-foot 6-inch distance. And so Del is replacing an injured pitcher. And never thought I'd say this, but Adrian Del Castillo will get all the warm-up pitches he needs. So Del Castillo making his major league debut on the mound here. I don't see any minor league pitching experience. So Troy, Waldschmidt, and Barossa, the new outfield, left to right. Del Castillo on the mound, and Pavin Smith is at first base. And Del won't require more than 1 or 2 warm-up pitches. So here we go. Hopefully Cade Stroud is okay. Dylan Cruz will be the hitter. He's 0 for 4. Bases full of Nationals and 1 out. Max Esposito with Cade Stroud, the athletic trainer. Something's going on with Cade. And Del has hit a batter and forced in a run. And Cruz trying to suppress a smile. He tried the ephus and hit him with it. Meade comes across, and it's 13-1.
I'm not a big fan of the ephus pitches. We've seen James McCann do that in the past when he was forced to take the mound. I mean, you mentioned they're used to throwing 60 feet 6 inches. They throw harder than that when they throw the ball back to the pitcher.
Foul ground for Groover.
I'm not saying you should go out there and try to strike hitters out or anything like that, but not every pitch needs to have an arc in it.
Well, from what I understand, you want contact. You don't obviously want this to go on and on and on. Nunez has singled his last 2 times up. Well, Adrian Del Castillo has inherited a bases loaded jam here. And Nunez pops it straight up. Garcia near the screen, and Aramis has got it with a terrific catch right in front of the netting there. So the Fireman of the Year award goes to Del Castillo. 13-1.
Welcome to Doc in the Box.
Welcome back to Chase Field. Desert Financial Credit Union gives us a look at the upcoming schedule. 2 day games this weekend. Early start Saturday, earlier start Sunday. Eduardo Rodriguez goes tomorrow. Michael Soroka on Sunday, the finale with the Nationals. Then we fly to Miami and Cincinnati. Right back on the road. We'll leave after Sunday's game, off day in Miami Monday. And then 3 against the Marlins starting next Tuesday. That's our Desert Financial upcoming schedule. This is Cole Henry, the right-hander out of LSU. And Florence, Alabama, his 10th appearance of the year. Aramis Garcia, who has driven in the Diamondbacks, only run a homer in the 3rd. Leads off the 8th. Cole Henry, big part of the Nationals bullpen last season, 57 appearances. Uh-oh, headed for radio again. Bad things happen over there.
Even when there are no foul balls.
Cole Henry was a 2nd-round pick by the Nationals on the 2020 draft out of LSU. Just off the injured list, had a right rotator cuff strain. Cruz from right. And they retire Garcia to start the 8th.
A little deceiving in the Nationals media notes. You look at Henry's notes and it says he tossed a no-hitter, pitching 9 consecutive innings without allowing a hit, but it was from May 10th to May 31st last season.
Well, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. But
you thrown a no-hitter? Yeah, just, you know, it's like the Stephen Wright bit, right?
Took 2 weeks.
Goes to the store and it says open 24 hours and the guy's closing up and Stephen Wright says, hey, it says open 24 hours. And the guy says, yeah, but not in a row. Stephen Wright, Emerson College.
Oh, is that right? I like Stephen Wright. Yeah, funny dude.
Yeah. All the Emerson guys are funny. Wait, what?
Bought a piece of land, a mile long, an inch wide. I'm going to raise spaghetti.
It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it. All right. Comedy section of the broadcast devolved into this. Barroso for 2. He bats 9th. Way up high off the bat of Jorge Abrams, calling everybody off from shortstop. 2 down in the 8th. Well, tomorrow's the big day. Get here early, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we have these giveaways, and this is top priority, it aligns along, so it's going to be hot. Get here early. Bring water, seriously, because it's a 1:10 start. The Corbin Carroll 30-30 mystery bobblehead. Now, you have both of them.
Yes, I do.
The 30 stolen base version and the 30 home run version. You'll get one of the 2. That's where the mystery part comes in.
Yeah.
So
they're both great.
Yeah, they are cool. There's some intrigue involved. dbacks.com for your tickets. It's a 1 o'clock start tomorrow. And that is the big day. The Corbin Carroll mystery 30-30 bobblehead giveaway. Ildemaro Vargas back on the field. Took over at 2nd.
I got to tell you, I'm amazed Ildemaro Vargas is even standing upright today after that collision yesterday.
It was scary. Both guys were down for so long.
Ooh.
And sure enough, that's just not fair. Of all the guys to get hit by a pitch, you got to be kidding me. And I'm sure Henry just got away, but just the irony of that is just just not kind.
All the wounds from last night's game were on the right side of his body, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so this probably didn't hurt at all.
It hit him on the left foot.
Poor Varkey. Thank goodness. Oh, man. That ain't right. Ryan Waldschmidt, one of the 4 hits, a single his last time up. Washington jumped all over Merrill Kelly, who walked James Wood to lead it off. Luis Garcia hit a 2-run homer, and 2 batters in, it was 2-zip. Things went downhill from there. Abrams gets a glove on it and then didn't. It went under the glove. Vargas limps into third. Boy, C.J. Abrams had that for sure, and then suddenly the ball was in center field.
Top spin drive out there. I don't know. It didn't even look like it took a bad hop. He just didn't get his glove down in the right position. Slowed it down enough that Vargas was able to limp into third, as you said.
E6 goes up on the board. Pavin Smith gets into one. Come on, get down. Jacob Young able to chase it down. And that gets us to the 9th inning of a 13-1 game. Well, do not adjust your sets. The Washington Nationals, who came into tonight leading the major leagues in runs scored, to put up a 13 spot on the Diamondbacks. They've had 5 home runs as we start the 9th inning. Don't forget, post-game preview brought to you by Talking Stick Resort. Todd Walsh, Mark Gray standing by. Adrian Del Castillo, who came on to pitch in that 8th inning after Cade Stroud walked the bases loaded, is on to start the 9th, and there's that curveball. Dell got a couple of foul pop-ups after hitting Cruz to force in a run. And this is lifted out to right center. Burroughs is there. So Del Castillo seems to be primarily a fly ball pitcher. By the way, your staff has come up with some trivia.
Okay.
It's timely. Timely is today's headlines.
Okay.
And it's a 2-parter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so, well, we got a whole inning to kill here. So here's Luis Garcia Jr., who has hit a 2-run homer and a grand slam. He's got a career-high 6 RBIs. On this date, June 5th. Whoa! Pavin is right there. 1989. 1989. June 5th, 1989. What Major League ballpark opened? Curtis Mead, a base hit to left.
Curtis Mead Stadium. No, I have no idea.
I'll give you a hint. It was not in the continental U.S. 1989, new ballpark opened. This date in '89.
Toronto.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, actually, no, I can't accept that answer.
Oh.
I need the name of the ballpark.
Skydome.
There you go. That is correct. And C.J. Abrams has a base hit. So Meade singles, Abrams singles with 2 outs. That'll bring up Lyle. Now, the second part of the question is,
yes.
Of course, the Blue Jays had a franchise catcher. I don't know why they needed you. Dalen Lyle has it. Another base hit, 3 consecutive singles. They had Ernie Witt.
Yes.
Who was a great catcher for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But they decided for some reason to pinch hit for Ernie Witt. And they went to Bob Brenly, newly acquired Bob Brenly, from the Giants on the day that Skydome opened. Pinch hit for Ernie Witt in the 8th inning. Name that pitcher.
Dan Plesac.
Correct! Yes, nailed it. Wow. 4 consecutive singles, and it's 14-1.
And part of the reason I remember that is obviously a brand new stadium. I narrowly missed a home run.
Whoa, come on.
No, I drove the ball to left center field. I'm thinking to myself, yes, I got the first home run in the new ballpark, and whoever was playing left field caught it.
Yeah, they didn't write that part down. Bad job by your staff.
lost track here. There's so many
runs.
hits.
This is Dylan Cruz. Yeah, 4 consecutive singles. A run home in the 9th. Cruz still looking for his first hit tonight. 0 for 4. He was hit by a pitch by Del Castillo with the bases full. First batter that Del faced tonight. Center field. Ryan Waldschmidt under the home run porch. Able to run it down. Adrian Del Castillo gets the job done. It's 14-1. Base. Oh, it's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool plays of the night. LeJames Groover arriving in Torey Labella's office, set to make his major league debut. And the young man started at first base, moved over to third about halfway through. So far, he's grounded out 3 times over 3. But he'll get one more chance to get that first big league hit. So worth staying tuned for here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He'll bat second in the inning behind the pitcher, Adrian Del Castillo. Big smile for LeJames Groover. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. All things considered, except for giving up the 4 consecutive hits and hitting a guy with the bases full, Del did a nice job on the mound. Just get the outs.
Other than that,
this is Lincoln. You only employed a position player to pitch twice in your managerial career.
Yeah. Gracie and Steve Finley.
Yeah. Game got out of hand against the Dodgers. Could ask Finns about that when he was here. Well, he said he was always nagging to play.
Yeah,
so.
well, I got him in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was 2 different approaches to their outing. Yeah, Gracie went out there to have some fun, kind of like ADC did here tonight, to throw it over the plate and hope they hit it at somebody.
Did the Fetters bit, the whole thing?
Finley had 7 pitches.
Dell slaps it to left, and Lyles there. So here comes LeJames Groover, looking for that first major league hit, making his big league debut tonight. Diamondbacks second rounder in the 23 draft out of North Carolina State. He's got his family here. Hitting .322 in Reno when he got called up. So this would be the lone bright spot on a dark night here in downtown Phoenix. Well, James, big, tall, lanky guy, 6'2". 212 pounds, 24 years old, just turned 24 in April. And Torey Lovullo said he's here to get at bats. He's going to play. Popped it up. Fastball from Henry, and Abrams has got it. So we'll see plenty of LeJames Groover for sure. He's going to get some first base activity, a lot of first base activity. He'll get some DH at bats as well. He'll get right on right at bats. He's here to play and here to get ABs. Perdomo has one of the 4 hits. Well, you can't play 162 and not run into a few of these over the course of the year.
It happens.
They've been out hit 16-4. They trail it 14-1. Nationals hit 5 home runs tonight. 2 by Luis Garcia Jr., including a grand slam. Nationals scored 14 runs, yet still managed to leave 11 runners on base. Wow. That's hard to do. Blake Butera has got this club cooking, going to get it back to 500 with a win here tonight. It's a funny game. They just got swept at home in 3 games this week. The Nationals scored 7 runs in 3 games. They come up here and put a 14 spot up.
Wow.
Doesn't make any sense. Perdomo jacks one to the right field corner. And just missed it. Oh. Boy, the swings, the quality of the contact. It's only been 2 games, but it's made a difference.
It sure has.
I mean, it's right there in front of your eyes. 3-2 pitch. Another one down the line. Another one foul.
And you've heard me say it a million times. Sometimes all it takes is one good swing. Get a good pitch to hit, put a good swing on it, barrel it up, drive it someplace, and everything falls back into place. Hopefully that's the case with Jerry.
He's determined to get it to Dave McKay somehow. Back coaching at first, J.R. House at third. Don't forget we're back early tomorrow. Pre-game show at 12:30 on D-Backs TV. Eduardo Rodriguez against Zach Littell. Corbin Carroll bobblehead day. Jerry just gonna get a knock. There's just no denying him.
Had to work hard for that one.
Sure did. A 2-out single. That's 5 hits.
A little slider right over the middle of the plate and down. And Jerry in protect mode there with 2 strikes. Finally gets a base hit.
Diamondbacks have 5 hits tonight. The Nationals have hit 5 home runs. Tommy Troy. Diamondbacks' only run tonight came in the 3rd inning. Aramis Garcia, his first home run as a Diamondback. He's on deck. Should Troy reach? It's 0-2. Missing with fastballs, high velocity fastballs. Garcia would be next. Look out. Wow, that one almost got JR. Solid play down there by Mr. Bill Callison, our Golden Glover in left. Remember, they have to stay in the box. That's the new rule this year, the base coaches, and it puts some of these base coaches in tricky spots. Right in the line of fire.
Trying to get as far away from home plate as he can.
Abrams will charge. Backhand play. Tommy Troy gets up that line awful quick. Back-to-back 2-out singles in the 9th inning. And Garcia gets another chance to swing the bat. Second hit tonight for Tommy.
Sounded like he might have cracked his bat right there. Hit that little slow roller. Abrams pretty good defensive shortstop. Even he couldn't make a play on that one quick enough to get Tommy Troy.
Kevin Franzen, our buddy working Nationals TV to our left, had spent a lot of time around Tommy when he was coming up. Said loves the makeup of Tommy Troy. Talked about what an athlete he is. Here's Aramis, who has their only run, a homer in the 3rd. Again, Henry got a 2-strike count. This is where things have tended to go in the wrong direction for him. Perdomo is at second and Troy's at first. And the foul tip hangs on. That's it. 1 run, 6 hits. Garcia's homer, the only one tonight. And the Nationals slam 5 homers, including a grand slam by Garcia, part of a 2-homer night for him And the Nationals, who lead the majors in runs scored, score 14 more here tonight.
Yeah, the second most runs the Diamondbacks have allowed this season and tied for the most hits allowed. Hopefully they got it all out of their system. I got to believe you're going to hear the words wash it off and flush from Torey Lovullo after this game.
What else is there? Well, you're going to have to do it early. We're back early tomorrow at 12:30 start for the pregame show. Eduardo Rodriguez takes on veteran right-hander Zach Littell. Up next, though, it's Todd and Gracie. Post-game show from Chase Field is next after this short break on D-backs TV.
.com/open the house.